Now, the last thing I would like to talk about in this beginner section of the course is finding 3D assets and utilizing 3D assets. A lot of times when you're working on projects, you don't want to spend a long time, hours, and sometimes even days trying to recreate an object when you already have the models online and you can just download it for free or buy it for cheap. So there are a lot of websites you can find quality 3D models, and also if your focus is trying to put out these videos fast, quickly and efficiently, you want to skip as many time wasting processes as possible. So let me show you where you can get 3D models. Go to cgtrader.com. This is my #1 spot for getting 3D models. Let's say I want a 3D model of a basketball. I can just type basketball here, and then I'll see a lot of different basketball 3D models at different prices. You can see this one is $3.49 and it comes with like 4 different balls. You can see this one is $12 for some reason. This one is an entire basketball court, $25. But also you can get some of these models for free. For example, if I go up and I click this free button here, now it loads all the basketball models that are actually free. This is one I downloaded for one of my projects in my 30-day challenge. There are a bunch of other ones here. This is a rim. This is an entire court. You can see, and you're getting all these things for free. These are people, hardworking artists like you and I that have spent time creating these things for you, so you don't have to spend that time creating it yourself. And also you can choose the exact format you want to download your 3D model in. Now, the best thing as a Blender user is to find someone that was actually a Blender user and created the project in Blender, so you can easily just copy everything with the textures and all. So you can go to file formats and refine your search to show only Blender related stuff. So if I click on Blender here, now it's showing me two things. It's showing me the products that are 1, free, and 2, are blend files. So you can see every single one has a blend on top of it, which is very useful to you as a Blender user. So let's say we download this basketball 3D model. Let's click this one and then click free download since it's free. Also, if you have some money to spend or you are using some of your client's budget, you can also find more high quality 3D models on this website that cater to exactly your needs. Okay, now we have two options for downloads. We have .blend and .fbx. So there are different types of file formats for 3D models, but the most popular ones are FBX and OBJ. So if you can get an OBJ file, if you can get a blend file, that should be your #1 priority. You can also search for an OBJ file or an FBX file. So let's download the blend and also download the FBX. Now, if it's the blend file we downloaded, we can just go and click on the download file, the .blend, and then it's going to open it in Blender. Yeah, and we already have our 3D model here. Our basketball is just here, well textured, ready to go. So I didn't need to spend any time modeling this, creating this, texturing it. So we can just click on the ball, Ctrl+C to copy. Now let's go back to our project and we can hit a Ctrl+V to paste. So let's hit full stop. Now you can see we have our ball in the center of the scene. So let's just bring it up so it's just above this platform. Let's bring it up a bit. Nice. So let's try to import this exact model also here using the FBX. So let's say you don't find a blend file and you find an OBJ or an FBX. All you need to do is to go to File, then Import, then FBX. Then go find the FBX file and hit Import FBX. Now it imports the same ball, you can see. Let's go to the material preview. You can see you import the same ball. Now the problem with importing FBX compared to blend files is that sometimes you can see in this situation, sometimes you wouldn't have the correct texture and you have to find a way to download the texture. There are a lot of issues that come with trying to download these 3D models online. For example, this person did not put in texture files here. So yeah, that is problematic. And sometimes the clients you're working with might have access to these files. They might have their manufacturers or designers that help them create these 3D models, and you can just ask them for it and import it. That would save you a lot of time. For me, in my personal workflow, I usually collaborate with other 3D artists to help me model and create the actual product, because personally I like focusing on the animation, the flashy stuff, the movement. That is where I shine. So for someone that loves modeling, that loves tinkering with geometry, I work with them and they deliver the model to me. Now, if you're you're a beginner, except you are super passionate about modeling, I wouldn't want you spending a lot of time trying to model each and every one of these products. If you want to get your work out there super fast, you need to either outsource it or find where you can download these models online. Okay, let's delete this FBX one. Let's go back to our browser. So CG Trader is my favorite spot for finding 3D models. Let's search for a phone, for example. You can see a phone 3D model, lots of telephones, smartphones, phone booths, iPads, a lot of 3D models, but these ones are not free. Usually the first thing I do is to click on free to see if I have some free options that are actually good. You can see we have a lot of free 3D models that are actually quite good, quite high quality models. And you can also go to file format again and see if you can find good ones that are also blend files. And that makes your life a lot easier. So CG Trader is my favorite website for downloading 3D models in general. 99% of the time I am on this website. You can also check out sketchfab.com. You can have a lot of high quality 3D models there. I only go there if I can't find what I'm looking for on CG Trader. And also you can check out Blend Swap. One Blend Swap is free and it's only Blender files. A lot of really creative 3D artists in the Blender community, they create 3D models and scenes and projects and they upload it on Blend Swap for the community, so you can check it out. Let's try and download the second model on CG Trader. Let's search for phone. Let's say I want to make a video of a phone. You can see a lot of options, a lot of high quality options here. So let's click on free. This is the first thing I usually do. And then let's click, I like this one, but this doesn't have a blend format. So if I really like this, I can download the OBJ of FBX and figure out the texturing. But let's click on file format Blender so we can see the ones that we can access that are blend files. Nice. I like this. I like this. I also like this one. So let's click on this one. It's a Samsung Galaxy S20 concept phone. Cool. Let's hit free download and try to download the OBJ version of it. So after waiting for about 20 seconds, we have a bunch of different files we can download. Now let's not download the blend file because we have done that before. Let's try and download the OBJ file. So click on download for OBJ and also for MTL. That is the material file. Let's go to file, import. This time we are clicking OBJ. There are different other options here. There is Collada, Alembic, SVG, STL. STL is one popular one. A bunch of others, but let's choose Wavefront, which is OBJ. Then go find the OBJ file. See, this is the MTL file. What we want is the OBJ file, and import the OBJ file. So it can either be sometimes because the person creating the model might not account for scale. So the item might either be super huge or super small. Or maybe you as a creator might not be accounting for scale in your own project, and then you realize that the model you downloaded might be super big. This is where the frame selected comes in. If I just hit full stop, I can see exactly where the phones are. And now we can see the phones are inside of the cube. This is the inside of the cube. And this actually looks cool, the inside. So what we can do now is to click the gizmo and bring it up. And also you can use S to scale it up, so it's a lot bigger. Yeah, but then we can see a problem here. We are not seeing the wallpaper. It's showing purple. In Blender, when you can't find a file, it always shows you purple. Or is this pink or purple? One of them. Since we don't have the wallpaper here, let's go back to CG Trader. You can see that this creator added a texture.rar, so let's download that. This would contain the texture files for the entire project. Now we can extract this file. Extract, click on the extracted folder, texture, and you should see everything in here. Yeah, you can see the wallpaper and the home screen, Samsung logo, everything. So let's go back to our blend file, click on any of the phones. Now I like doing anything related to this type of things in the shading tab. So let's click on full stop so it can take us to where our product is. And now you can see that just this model has a bunch of materials going on it. So all these are individual materials that make up the actual model. So let's go to home screen. You can see that in home screen, we don't just have a color, we have an image. So this image is missing right now, so we have to go find the image. So click on this folder icon and navigate to your texture file, and the image is called home screen. So select this home screen and open image. Now we have our wallpaper. So for the second one, you can go to home screen 01 and do the same thing here. Click on the folder and select home screen. Or we can also choose wallpaper. So we have two different options. Nice. So I think we have our complete model now. So what we can do is go back to layout tab, click on this and shift click on this. Now, yeah, that's one very important thing. If you want to select multiple objects, you use shift. So click on the first one, then hold shift and click on the second one. Now let's go to the front view by hitting 1 and then bringing it down. And let's make sure it's like in front of the rest of the objects. And also let's rotate it so it's facing forward. So RZ 180. Let's bring it up and let's bring it forward. Now let's go into our camera view and see what that looks like. Okay, I don't like the rotation of this. So first things first, let's make this bigger. So scale it up. And you can see that it's not scaling from the center, it's scaling from this origin. We can fix that by selecting both of them, going to objects, set origin, geometry. So you can see now this origin point is this orange point. You can see it's now in the center of the phone. So let me undo that. Before, the origin point was down here. So when I scaled, I was scaling from here. If I rotate, I'll be rotating around this origin point. We don't want that. So let's redo what we did again, set origin, geometry. Now we are rotating around the phone itself and we are scaling around the phone. Now let's rotate this one on the z-axis and rotate this one on the z-axis too. And rotate the both of them on the x-axis. Nice. So let's bring it down on the z-axis. Try to make sure it's not intersecting. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Now let's go to the rendered view to see our full scene. Great, this is looking good. So this is the render we created as absolute beginners in the beginner stage. So right now, I hope you have gotten a good grasp of how to use Blender, how to move around, how to create a finished, cool looking scene like this. And now we can move on to the core of this course, which is creating the VFX videos, the camera tracking, the object tracking, masking, compositing, all that fun stuff. I couldn't have done all that without going through all of this, especially if there were people that were coming into the course that have never used Blender before or are really absolute beginners in Blender. You need to go through all of this to get familiar with all the tools and whatnot. So after this, we're going to talk a little bit about texturing, a little bit about animation, and then we can get into camera tracking and implementing all these skills in a VFX video.